Welcome back. And right now we're taking a deeper dive into our top story. Florida Surgeon General wants to eliminate all vaccine mandates in the state, including ones for school children.
Here to discuss the potential rollback are the president of the United Teachers of Dade, Antonio Tony White, plus the co-founder of the Centner Academy in Miami, Layla Centner. I want to begin with you, Tony, your reaction to this big news today.
Wow. Well, at United Teachers of Dade, we're deeply concerned about today's announcement from the governor and the Surgeon General regarding the possible rollback of vaccinations. We realize that after 45, 50 years of proven science, all of a sudden science isn't good enough anymore.
And Layla, your reaction to that statement and also the announcement today.
First of all, I've been very excited about it. I've been praying for this day to happen for a very long time. And I love when people talk about science, because science always has two sides. And science is all about investigation. It's all about, really digging in and understanding what both sides are. So, that's part of it. And I believe that they have made these decisions based on data and the other part of the science that has been censored and hidden for so long, that finally information is coming out to protect our children.
So the argument is, the decision falls on the parent, right? The parent makes a decision what goes into a child's body. Should I decide whether or not my child gets the vaccine? What do you say to, you decide you don't want to vaccinate your child, but you're sending your child to school amongst dozens of other children?
Yeah.
You're putting them in the same situation as other kids who may be healthy, who may be immunocompromised. What do you say?
So again, this goes back to a lot of propaganda that's been spewing for a very long time. What really impacted the health of humanity at the point where there were, so many deaths from measles and whatever else was proper sanitation, nutrition, taking care of your body. These are the things that got us out of the mess that we were in. And there, in fact, there's an amazing book called Dissolving Illusions by Dr. Susan Humphries, and she's got all the data and significant amount of charts in there that show this curve. And at the end, when the disease was starting to fade away, that's when the vaccine was introduced. So I think it's amazing that parents now have the freedom to do their own research, the freedom to choose, because what goes into their child's body, if that can be one wrong lethal injection, they will never be the same for the rest of their life.
Well, to be fair, there are those who say that you might be misinformed by what is happening out there as well. Tony, I'm curious, what is the biggest fear as a result of today's announcement for the children?
Well, the biggest fear for us, quite frankly, is that, for decades now, as I mentioned, well over 45, 50 years in this country, we've had vaccinations when it comes to school. We're talking places of close proximity. School vaccination requirements have played a critical role in our classrooms over the last 45, 50 years. The proven science-based protections help actually prevent the spread of dangerous diseases that safeguard our most vulnerable among us, our children and the elderly.
So is the fear that a child who is unvaccinated may come to school and clearly may get the measles, say what happened in Texas or what happened in Weston just last year, in February of last year, may spread it to other kids?
Absolutely, because vaccine programs in schools are proven to reduce outbreaks of contagious diseases. There's a such thing called herd immunity, right? Where the more that's vaccinated will protect those that are unvaccinated. And when you talk about freedom and parental rights, every parent has the right to make sure that their kids are in a safe, conducive environment. And this kind of takes that right away.
So to Calvin's point, if a child were to get the measles at school or just to get a cold, to get infected, you come home, you bring it, they have a sibling, a little baby who's just born, a few months old. The child will transfer that cold to the baby. And then it just continues and continues. And so what happens then?
So actually, when you're a baby and you get measles, chickenpox, which I had as a child, you actually have natural immunity, which is way better than vaccines. And it strengthens your body in a way that when you are an adult, you have forever immunity. When you get a vaccine, it only lasts about 10 years. So no one sitting at this table, none of the adults, unless they've received boosters, are vaccinated. And the adults aren't dropping like flies and having issues with measles.
Layla, what about those who say that today's announcement, especially for people who are in the anti-vaxxer group, is maybe a bit selfish? What do you say to this?
I think it's the opposite. Why would a government force me to inject my child with pharmaceutical drugs when I'm as granola can be with my kids. They eat all organic, they eat very clean. When they're sick, I give them vitamins. I do not give them any drugs. So why would I inject them with formaldehyde, polysorbate 80, which goes directly through their blood-brain barrier? There are so many toxins in vaccines that when people say, oh, you should be forced to keep somebody else healthy and safe, I think that's completely wrong. Focus on your own children. Keep them healthy and safe by one, stop giving them such crap to eat every morning.
Wow.
Processed foods,
Wow.
sugar, all of these things that you're feeding your kids are what's keeping them sick, not the vaccines.
Tony, do you want to respond?
Oh, of course. I mean, quite frankly, like I said, for the last 50 years, this has been proven to be very effective in our society. We've just entered a different point in our society where ideology is taking over science, right? World-renowned scientists are being disregarded for the simple fact of politics, and politics actually kill. When you talk about COVID, if you go back to that, she says we should be well-informed. Well, you can't be well-informed when they hide the information and refuse to publish it. And that's happened a lot during the COVID stages, and that's documented as well.
So tell me, why is it that we used to have autism at 1 in 10,000, now it's 1 in 33? And by the way, I speak from personal experience because my nephew, who was heavily vaccinated, was autistic. And I spent over $100,000 reversing his autism by detoxing the chemicals in his body. So how does that work? How are we healthier today when autism and all the disease rates are skyrocketing?
Autism is a disease that still is undefined how they get it. You're attributing autism to vaccinations, and autism has been around since the beginning of time, one way or another. We just classify them different, and now we designate people as, and we label them, so to speak. You know, vaccines save lives. It's been proven. We've gone through smallpox. We've gone through a lot of communicable diseases over the time, and they all were cured or almost stamped out through vaccinations.
The information you're saying is incorrect. I encourage you to read the book Dissolving Illusions by a pro-vaxxer who 100% supported vaccines, was a kidney specialist, and she's got all the data to prove that a lot of the things you're saying is propaganda that was spewed by the media.
But I will say, according to the CDC, there is a study that routine vaccinations have proven to have saved over 1 million lives in children.
And the CDC makes billions off of vaccines. They buy and sell vaccines. They are not an independent company to be, or a government agency to be giving us information that we should take that and believe it.
In Florida, there are ways to get around giving your child a vaccine based on religion,
Absolutely.
other medical reasons. Why go as far as removing it altogether? If you're a parent who doesn't want to vaccinate your child, why not just do it based on religion, or have your specific reason why? Why go as far as the entire state making it so that no one does it?
That's a great question. There are a lot of schools that do not allow the religious exemption. Mm-hmm. There are pediatricians that are kicking out kids for not allowing vaccines because they get 25% of their income as a rebate from the vaccine companies, and it supports their way of life. And if they don't have a certain percentage of kids that are vaccinated, they lose the rebate. So unfortunately, there's too much incentive behind basically discriminating against parents' free choice to decide what they want to inject into their child.
Any reaction, Tonito?
Well, that free choice have always been there. As you mentioned earlier, there are several ways that you can not have your child vaccinated and not affect other kids that want a vaccination. As I mentioned, herd immunity is real. We can placate and pretend it's not, but we've learned over time, over and over again, that the more people that are vaccinated, the less people that become infected. And that's just fact. That's not fiction.
If vaccines protect kids, then why should they be afraid if someone else isn't vaccinated?
We're running out of time here, and Layla, I'm going to please finish your thought, and then we're going to wrap up.
I mean, it just, you know, when I hear parents saying, I'm afraid of other kids that aren't vaccinated, well, if you believe in vaccines and you vaccinated your kid, what are you afraid of?
The President of the United Teachers of Dade, Antonio Tony White, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Layla, we certainly appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
We'll be right back.